lọ sínú ìwé òfin. Tá a bá lọ sínú ìwé òfin ti Nàìjíríà chapter 4 section 6 ẹ ò rí pé dignity of human person òfin ni ó ní no torture no slavery èèwọ̀ ni ẹlẹ́kẹta no forced labour ẹ lọ́mọ wípé òfin ò gbà kẹ́nìkan náà ẹ ò fara ní ẹ kíjọba jẹ́ kófin ẹrú wọn ìyẹn jẹ́.
àjíṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ láàárín àjíṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ láàárín àjíṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ láàárín Ọ̀yọ́ àjíṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ láàárín Ọ̀yọ́ ò ní ṣe bí bàbá ẹni.
ìlú Ọ̀yọ́ ìṣe bí ẹni kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ajíṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ ti fi ẹ̀ ti máa gbọ́. Ọ̀yọ́ ìṣe bí ẹni kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ètò òṣèlú tó ní iye lórí. Ọ̀yọ́ ìṣe bí ẹni kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ìlanilọ́lẹ̀ nípa ìgbé ayé gbogbo. Ọ̀yọ́ ìṣe bí ẹni kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn aláǹtà Ọ̀yọ́ lẹ́sìn. Àwọn aládé ròyìn àwọn aládé lè. Wọ́n bá wá jáde àjò ilẹ̀ ayé. Ọ̀yọ́ ìṣe bí ẹni kọ̀ọ̀kan.
Ṣé ń gbọ́ bó ṣe ń já lálálálá? Ẹ má yín kúrò níbẹ̀ ní ìkànnì Ajíṣebí Ọ̀yọ́ online television and radio www.ajíṣebíọ̀yọ́radio.com. Ẹ ṣé tẹ́ ń gbọ́ ìkànnì wa o. Ajíṣebí Ọ̀yọ́ làárí, Ọ̀yọ́ ò ní ṣe bí bàbá ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ẹ ṣé tẹ́ ń gbọ́ ìkànnì wa o. Ajíṣebí Ọ̀yọ́ làárí.
Mẹ́tọ́ mi ní abẹ́ òfin ìwọ ń kọ́ ìyẹn jẹ́ ní fẹ́ni tí o mọ̀ ò má dá Ọlọ́run ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni.
Mẹ́tọ́ mi ní abẹ́ òfin ìwọ ń kọ́ ìyẹn jẹ́ ní fẹ́ni tí o mọ̀ ò má dá Ọlọ́run ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni.
Mẹ́tọ́ mi ní abẹ́ òfin ìwọ ń kọ́ mẹ́tọ́ mi ní abẹ́ òfin ìwọ ń kọ́ ìyẹn jẹ́ ní fẹ́ni tí o mọ̀ ò má dá Ọlọ́run ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ èèwọ̀ ni.
Mẹ́tọ́ mi ní abẹ́ òfin ìwọ ń kọ́ ìyẹn jẹ́ ní fẹ́ni tí o mọ̀ ò má dá Ọlọ́run ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni.
Ìrònú ní fẹ́ni tí o ní lákòókò ohun tó ní tẹ́lómi ò ní o. Mẹ́tọ́ mi ní abẹ́ òfin ìwọ kọ́ Ọlọ́run tó fi kádàrá gbé ẹ o. Màmá ní Ọlọ́run tó fi kádàrá gbé ẹ o. Màmá ní ọpẹ́lẹ̀ kò fọ́lá ẹ̀dá o. Kò lè pẹ́ mo lágbára mo wà nínú.
All praises and adorations belong to Almighty God, drawer of whatever waits, Lord of incomparable magnanimity, Lord that has spared you and I since last week to today that we are here live on this program that is known as Know Your Right Under the Law. My name is Abdullahi Adebayo Abdurrauf. On the program for today, I will be explaining further what I've been explaining for the past 2-3 months. On this program, for some weeks ago, we've been explaining the topic that is known as your right to life and what you must know. Because this right to life that every one of us has, there are some conditions that must be followed. There must be condition. There are some conditions that are precedent to enjoyment of this right to life that we have. That which, if any of these conditions is breached, the right to life also will be affected. And because of this, we have been able to explain so many things under this topic. The subtopic I'm explaining under this main topic is that of those offenses that are punishable with death in Nigeria. That if anybody should do it, the court may order the person to be killed. The court may pronounce the death of such a person. And I've been able to explain 2 offenses. I've been able to explain the offense of treason and the offense of treachery. And today, by the special grace of God, I will be continuing the explanation of those offenses that are punishable with death in Nigeria. The offense that I'll be able to explain today is that of robbery. robbery and armed robbery. The reason why I'll be explaining robbery is that there is no way by which you can explain armed robbery without firstly knowing what robbery is. Because many of us has different opinion according to what the law is. Many of us has a kind of misappropriation of what robbery is under the law. And this has to be explained before I go into the explanation of what armed robbery is. According to Section 401, Subsection 1 of the Criminal Code Act, and according to Section 296 of the Penal Code Act, and according to Section 1, Subsection 1 of the Fire of the Robbery and Firearms Act, I have been able to distill out 3 points that explains robbery under these sections of law, under the provision of the sections of law. Before robbery can occur, there must have been a person that tries, or yes, there must be a person that steals the property of another person. That is the first thing. And that stealing must be in the presence of the person whose property is being stolen. And during the time of stealing, the person that is stealing must have used actual violence or threatening to threaten the person who owns the property, which will in turn cause a kind of fear cause a kind of fear of danger in the mind of the owner of the property, and at the result of this, the person that is stealing this property will do it to obtain that property from the owner, and at the same time to retain that property after he has obtained it from the owner of such a property. This is what robbery is. When, let's take for instance now, Mr. Thief is the person who wants to steal the property of Mr. Owner. Mr. Thief will now go to the presence of Mr. Owner. In the presence of Mr. Owner, Mr. Thief will be demanding for the property of Mr. Owner. For example, Mr. Thief may demand for money from Mr. Owner. He may demand for his necklace. He may demand for his phone. He may demand for his bag. He may demand for anything from Mr. Owner. And when Mr. Thief is demanding this property from Mr. Owner, he is using a kind of actual violence and what? And threatening on Mr. Owner, which will cause fear in the mind of Mr. Owner, the fear of danger, or the fear of death, or the fear of being the fear of being harmed with grievous body harm from Mr. Thief. And as a result of this, Mr. Thief will now surrender his property. Mr. Owner will now surrender his property to Mr. Thief. And Mr. Thief will now take that property and go away with it. Actual violence in this circumstance may be when a person attacks, maybe a person that is huge attack a person that is slender and slim like me now, like this, and a person that is as huge as that of Big Show. A person, if you are a fan of wrestling, you will know who Big Show is. All people like Undertaker, all those kind of people that usually fight wrestling. Now, a person that is huge now go to a person that is slim and slender like me, that is giant, standing in front of a person like me and demanding for my property from me. You know, at that moment in time, he is what? He is threatening me, because I know that if I should do anything, he will beat me black and blue. Or maybe there is even a cliff behind me, or a pit will be behind me, or maybe fire is maybe fire is beside me or behind me, and he is threatening me that he will push me into the fire, or he will push me into the hole, or he will push me into the cliff if I don't give him that thing that is demanding from me at that moment in time. And that moment in time is what is using actual violence, threatening me. And that threatening and actual violence will do what? We create a kind of fear in my mind, a fear of danger. a fear of being hurt, and the fear of being even killed by Mr. Thief at that moment in time. So it is this fear of danger, or fear of grievous body harm, or fear of death that will now make me to surrender my phone, the phone that I bought with my hard-earned money. I will now give it to Mr. Thief. Collect. I will still say thank you for collecting my phone from me. Or it is this fear that will make me to do anything to surrender my property, any of my property that is with me at that moment in time, maybe in my house or on the road or anywhere, or even my car. Or I pray that this will never happen to me. But let me use myself as an example. I don't want to use anybody as an example. So at this moment in time, and the person now surrenders his property to the person that is demanding it. Actually, the person has used actual violence or threatening on the person. This is when robbery occurs. This is what we call robbery. And robbery, according to section 401, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code Act, and according to section 1, subsection 1 of the Robbery and Firearms Act, robbery is punishable with 21 years imprisonment. But according to the Penal Code Act that is applicable in another part of Nigeria, no. It says no. A person that robs another person cannot be punished with 21 years imprisonment. According to section 298. Yes, according to section 298, subsection A of the Penal Code Act, it says no. A person that commits the offense of robbery will be punished with what? With nothing more than 10 years imprisonment. Not more than 10 years imprisonment. But other laws are saying no. The person will be punished with 21 years imprisonment, and the Penal Code Act, the Penal Code Act that's applicable in the northern part of Nigeria is saying that no, the person will be punished with nothing more than 10 years imprisonment. I'm coming to this, but let me just explain the salient points first before I come back to juxtaposition and a kind of comparison between these laws. Now, this is the offense of robbery. Now, what is armed robbery? And we can't talk about robbery we can't talk about armed robbery without first explaining what robbery is, because all the ingredients of armed robbery is inside robbery. Just one ingredient that is missing. Now, at that moment in time, I'm now explaining what armed robbery is. At that moment in time, according to section 401, according to section 402 of the Penal Code Act, and according to section 1, section 2 of the Robbery and Firearms Act, even according to section 298 of the Penal Code Act 2, they explain armed robbery as a kind of situation whereby what I've explained earlier, that a person is there threatening the person that owns that thing to give him this thing, and in order for him to take it away, and because the person is in fear of danger, he has to surrender everything that the person is trying to demand from him at that moment in time, so that he won't be harmed by the thief at that moment in time. That is what armed robbery is. But what did the thief, or what did the perpetrator use to cause that fear in the mind of the owner of such a property at that moment in time will make us to determine if armed robbery has occurred or not. If a person now use a weapon, the person that I was explaining in under the definition of robbery does not use any weapon. He was just there using actual violence. Maybe a person that has smoked for maybe like 60 years of his life, and his voice has become broken, and he's talking, "Hey, Mr. Man, give me your money." Hey, please, collect. I even have 15 naira here too. I want to use it to take bike, but you can still have it too. Please, thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Or the person is there threatening the person that if you don't give me this thing, I will harm your child. Maybe the person is carrying a child on her back. If you don't give me your money, I will harm your child. Please don't harm my child. Collect this thing. Or if you don't give me this thing, I will push you onto the highway, and you see that trailer that is coming. We just run over you. trailer, and person that is huge and a person that is slender and is slim, even just a slap, even the wind, the breeze that will come from a slap alone is sufficient for the person to be killed. Talk less of being talk less of being pushed in front of a trailer. At that moment in time, so the person that is robbing under the offense of robbery will not use a weapon, but under the armed robbery, the person will use a weapon. If a person now use weapon to create such a fear in the mind of the person that is trying to get the property from, yes, armed robbery has occurred. And according to section 401 or 402, it says that if a person uses firearms or offensive weapon, firearms like gun, armor tank, any other thing that you can call firearms, just pistol, rifle, ammo tank, anything that is firearms. If a person uses firearms to create fear, to threaten another person in order for him to collect his property from you, when a person points a gun at you, even your brain will not will not think anything at that moment in time. Just give him whatever he asks for. Even if he asks you to be cursing your father at that moment in time, you will curse your father, you will curse your mother, you will curse your whole generation, you will curse everything that even the thing that the person is not asking you to do at that moment in time, you will still be seeking for his permission to do it so that you will please him, so that he won't pull the trigger against you. Because if the trigger should be pulled, you don't know what can happen. We are talking about death. Everybody like his life. Everybody like his life. So if the person now use gun to attack another person, armed robbery has occurred. That is the first aspect. And the second aspect is that not ordinary gun. Even if a person uses what is known as offensive weapon, the person will be convicted for the offense of armed robbery. And the sentence of armed robbery is punished by death. Yes, the punishment by death is awaiting the person that is convicted of armed robbery under the law, according to section 402 and of the Criminal Code Act, and according to section 1 of the Robbery and Firearms Act. What are now the offensive weapon? Offensive weapon has been defined in plethora of cases. I've read a case where the judge said even if a person use a stick, just a stick, maybe you are using a stick to cause that kind of fear in the mind of the person that you are trying to collect the property from. If you are caught, you are gone. You are gone. You are gone forever. Gone too soon. You are gone. If you are caught, you are gone. An offensive weapon may be stone, it may be cutlass, it may be machete. What again? It may be baton or chemical, maybe like acid. Person is there to threaten you with acid, and he's telling you that this container in my hand is acid, and you just spray some portion of the acid or maybe on the chair beside you, and you see the acid reacting on the chair, on the surface of where the acid was poured to. Won't you do whatever he wants you to do at that moment in time? But that at that moment in time, if the person does that thing to that person to obtain the property of such a person and to return that thing after he has obtained it, he has committed what is known as the offense of armed robbery under the law. What's now the offense? We have been able to establish the offense of armed robbery. We are able to establish the offense of robbery as distinguishable from robbery and armed robbery. Now, what are the different? What is the punishment of armed robbery? I've said this earlier. According to section 402 of the Criminal Code Act, according to section 1 of the Robbery and Firearms Act, the offense of armed robbery is death penalty. Death. The right to life that such a person has will be taken away from him, and the court will have to pronounce the death of such a person at that moment in time. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that the Penal Code Act says no. The person that commits the offense of robbery should not be punished with death. Rather, he should be sent to prison for life. He should be in prison for life for the rest of his life. That is what the Penal Code Act is saying. If you check to section 298 of the Penal Code Act, That's what it's saying. So that means that in the southern part of Nigeria, if a person commits the offense of armed robbery, he will be punished by death. But in other part of Nigeria, if the person commits the offense of armed robbery, he will be punished with nothing more than life imprisonment. Now, I've talked about the law in the northern part of Nigeria, the southern part of Nigeria. What about the Robbery and Firearms Act that I've been talking about before? The Robbery and Firearms Act is applicable to all over Nigeria, and it's a federal law. So that means that if a person is caught doing this thing, it may be tried at the federal high court. And if such a person is tried at the federal high court, regardless of wherever the person commits this offense, he will be punished by death. He will be punished by death. That is the position of law. And now, when I was entering into this very interesting topic, I made mention of the classifications that have classified all these offenses into. I made mention of those offenses that are punishable with death in all of Nigeria, the one that are punishable with death in some state of Nigeria, the one that are punishable with even in the state of Nigeria, but are applicable to some set of people in Nigeria, and the offense that requires the person to firstly kill another person before the offense is meted out on him, and those offenses that are not even requiring the person to have killed a life before the death sentence can be passed on to the person. What category does the offense of armed robbery fall into? It falls into the offense that are it falls into the category of the offenses that is that are punishable in all of Nigeria. Anywhere in Nigeria where a person is found guilty, where a person is found guilty of committing the offense of armed robbery, the punishment is death, but according to some conditions. And it doesn't require the person to have killed his victim before the death sentence can be passed on him. It doesn't require a robber, a person that is committing armed robbery, to kill, to firstly kill his victim before the court will say yes, you will now be punished with death. No, either the person killed or not. Once he is caught and is found guilty, he will still be killed. Yes, this is where I would like to stop here for today. But before I stop, I will firstly like to check into my Facebook here to check under the comments if I've gotten questions so that I will be able to do justification to those questions before I hand up the program for today. And well, there is no question here, but I've been seeing comments. Let me firstly started from the Yoruba comment before I come back to that of English language comment. Mr. Oluwatoyin Dada, he said, Ekweto Aku Isimi. He's greeting me. I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for watching the program, and thank you very much for a comment. You too. Aku Isimi àwa nìyẹn. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí a ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìsinmi ní ayé. Then Miss Asmau Bashir, she says, well done, sir. And you too, well done, ma. You see, Miss Asmau Bashir is one of the wonderful ladies out there that are doing the infallible things. And what she is doing is not what is common to ladies. I must commend her for doing this thing, because over the years we've been seeing only men doing this thing. She is into health, and she usually give out health tips. If you are a fan of Facebook, you may search for Asmau Bashir on Facebook. Just search for Asmau Bashir on Facebook. Go through her timeline, you will see many things that she has posted there. And in fact, because everybody needs health, as you need the law, you also need your health. Because if you are healthy, that's when you will know when and where to study what law is applicable to your interpersonal relationship in your day-to-day activities. Yes, and you need this too because if you are healthy and you don't know what to do and what not to do, even that health will not be useful to you. So I will direct you to our page. Go to our page, like our page, send our friend request, and follow our tips. Miss Asma Bashir, I'm very grateful for your comment. I'm very grateful. And before I end the lecture for today, I would like to acknowledge the kindness of AA Ventures. AA Ventures. I would like to acknowledge the kindness of AA Ventures. AA Ventures is a business enterprise that deals in data bundles. If you want to buy data bundles, contact AA Ventures on this phone number 08083522838. Once again, 08083532838. Contact AA Ventures to buy data bundles, be it MTN, Airtel, Nine Mobile, and any bundle, any data bundle that you want to buy. They are whom you can always trust if data bundle is taken into cognizance. We are very grateful to them. And once again, I would like to greet and acknowledge everybody that has been with us since the beginning of this program to the end today. And in the absence of questions for today, I would like to stop here and suspend the lecture till next week that you and I shall be meeting here again and have the awareness of our law in Nigeria. Do not forget that this program is being brought to you from Adisibioyo Online Radio and TV in conjunction with Abdullahi Legal Academy. And Abdullahi Legal Academy is an initiative that caters for dissemination of legal awareness to the general public in Nigeria, and at the same time conducting and organizing result-driving law tutorials for law students across various faculties of law in Nigeria. And there are many programs that we have been doing on our platform, Abdul Academy, to make sure that we achieve these two aims of ours. This is one of the programs. This is our radio legal awareness program. We have many other programs we are doing. Meet us on our Facebook with Abdullah Legal Academy. Just search for Abdullah Legal Academy on Facebook. You will see us. Follow the page. Also on YouTube, search for Abdullah Legal Academy and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also press the notification bell so that you'll be informed and notified whenever we release any content that will be beneficial to you. And at the same time, you can follow us on WhatsApp with the phone number 09034904883. 09034904883. And at the same time, at Abdullah Legal Academy, we need sponsors. All these programs that we are doing, none of these programs can be done without money. And we need money. So please, if you want to be one of our sponsors, please sponsor us. This is our account number that is showing now on your screen. So please, this is our account number. You can send some stipend on it so that, well, maybe to buy data or even to buy something that we put inside the cup that we'll be drinking when the program is ongoing. When the program is ongoing. So, what else? Nothing else more. So, till next week that you and I shall be meeting, I wish you a wonderful legal day ahead.
Kúnlé pàṣẹ olówó máa yan tálíkà jẹ o. Ìkànnì koríko tẹ́ni bá ti tẹ̀ o. Àtẹ̀gbé iṣẹ́ ẹranko nínú igbó. Màá nìyẹn kìnìún ewúrẹ́ ó pè jẹ. Wọ́n lẹ́bi erin náà.